They'll be calling you a radical. Kevin Blanch, I want to talk about this study going forward as far as the monkeys, as far as the post-ignorance project, where we're going from here. I want to talk about this whole gig that I've been on, this mission that I've been on long before I got leukemia. Is I ran and raved the morning that Fukushima happened. I've been an anti-nuclear activist my whole life. The death of my father, even before the death of my father. Marching in the trench, human guinea pig, perfectly healthy, and every but one. My mind always goes back to this. He grew up right here. Whole family of them. He was the healthiest one of them all. They're all still alive except his older brother who just passed, the Normandy, Omaha Beach D-Day vet. He passed at 89. My dad died young. Well, young for him, but the rest of them dead. Healthy as healthy as healthy. The healthiest one of them freaking died of leukemia. All the atomic veterans died of leukemia. I rant and raved the morning that Fukushima happened. I knew immediately right then as an anti-nuclear, we always knew. They told us couldn't happen, would happen, will not happen. The Post-Ignorance Project is Lonnie Clark, who I met via this gig, just woke up one morning, had a dream up in Eugene, Oregon. She's the one that says, hey, Kevin, you need to take this on the road. Eric Jordan, who came along, the world-class graphic designer, he's the one that's designed the shirts, you know, the post-ignorance shirts, you know, mine before were what they were, but we're human rights activists, so he's done all that beautiful graphic design work for free, built my website for free. He's part of this movement. You know, Lonnie Clark, myself, and he. There's been different people that have gave me money. Jeff Palco gave me some money recently. His No Regrets, his movement that he's got going. No Regrets is he's very ill. Because these are people that understand what I understand. This is a fight of our lives. As the Post-Ignorance Project goes forward, the monkey study is gigantic. It is the very first study with peer review that is by scientists in the whole time. We've had to hypothesize, we've had to debate, we've had to fight, because these guys will not break ranks. They will not break ranks. Now I'm going to post a video that Lonnie Clark did up at the University of Oregon baiting Kathleen Higley. There's a lot of people. Look, it's the first study. I mean, this is on primates. This is such a powerful study. It says that they have low red and white counts and cesium in their tissue. Just like this monkey had. That's exactly what happened to me. Exactly on, I ran and raved, it's going to give you leukemia, it's going to give you leukemia, it's going to give you, then 7 months later, I got a stomach ache, thought I had food poisoning. My life was changed forever, mowed down. They told me, you got 2 months, I'm sorry, Kevin, that Friday in there. I'm sorry, Kevin, but, you know, Christmas if you're lucky. Multiple doctors told me that. It was my knowledge, thus post-ignorance, my knowledge. As far as my art movement goes, I want people to understand this too, that the art movement, don't let the sun go down on me. Look, no day will dawn for those who stay long. 311 is very, very real. So many of you are going to die from this and won't even know you died from this. It's going to kill so many of you that are watching. So first off, San Onofre, the lie. They told us made up 13% of the Western grid. Lie, didn't make up any of it. Lie, 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 lie. Told us if they go down, we're done. Rolling blackouts, blah, blah, the fraud that's committed. When they tell you they make up 20% of the energy grid in the United States, is the biggest lie. Maybe 20 years ago they did. Solar took the field. Look, it's like this in Southern California. You roll up to a business owner, got an office complex. So how much is your heating and cooling cost? How much is your energy cost a year? Oh, I pay $1.1 million. How about if you pay $50,000? And the state of California will help you fund and pay for the installation. What the installation will cost you $50,000. Oh, they do it. And they've done it. Nuclear's a lie. It exists for one reason only, for nuclear weapons. Period, period. Megan Rice, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, they're the ones breaking the thing. And you guys can go off on all you want into your denial on this. This is very, very real. This is leukemia. This is death. I've watched it in my face. I've lived it. I don't eat, sleep, drink it. In my bone. As far as my post-ignorance movement, yeah, it's rooted in art, of course. It has to be. And I want people to understand. Eric Jordan designs those shirts and we have them on our website. That's a company because we're anti-usury. We're human rights activists. And the greatest, thus post-ignorance, the greatest violation to human rights is nuclear fallout. It's the greatest violation to human rights in the history of mankind. Bar none. Bar none. Megan Rice knows this. You know, so many knew that. My activism has kept me alive as I've done so much over the last God, especially 2013. Wow, wow, wow. The travels I did, the things that I did, the people that I got involved with. So going forward, 8.6 out at the Enola Gay hangar. I do that every year. I've done it for 30 years, over 30 years. I mean, I'm the only one that goes, shows up. It's just me. I've done it by myself. You know, there's mine last year on video. I do it every single year. I've done it for 30 years. You know, and I don't fold paper planes, and I'm not origami. I want to kick the fucker down. I'm going to scream. We know that people with cancer, we know this factually, that people that internalize their cancer and quiet about it, folding paper cranes, I so disagree with that whole thesis, and I think a lot of people in Japan do. I mean, obviously, the protests, there be. The Marshall Islands, the protests, this bullshit that we're quiet about it. We know that people like that die. We know people that wear their emotions on their sleeve while they have cancer. They scream and yell from the loudest rooftop. We know they live. We know this. We know this. The cell's being turned on, the wolf spirit. We know this. Talk to any cancer psychologist, talk to any oncologist. They will tell you. They know our incredible hospital, our team of doctors, they have advertisements on the radio, billboards all over. Sometimes you have to fight, girl. Come on, get loud, get into. I've watched it. I've watched the type of leukemia I have. No way should I ever survive, but I have survived. That's bigger piece of this. But the art movement, we don't believe in the consumption obey economy. We don't believe in the Queen's Royal freaking East India Company, Walmart, Bangladesh factories. I don't believe in it. None of us believe in our group. The post-ignorance, we paint with retro materials. Yeah, we use tomato soup because the food chain, it's so representative because the food chain has been so grotesquely hijacked, smashed down, annihilated. When I did this out of my subconscious, like as you look at it on film, if you see those paintings that were done after Hiroshima in Japan, which is an incredible art movement, boy, does this thing have that feel to it. Tomato soup, it's so representative, it's so important, but we use retro canvases, we use retro materials. Am I the first one to ever do it? No. I'm the first one to paint with tomato soup? Yeah, most likely. In this way, not the idea to paint on a clothesline, but the idea to paint on a clothesline. Not the painting on the clothesline, the idea to paint, but then you have to paint on the fucking clothesline. But look, I've always been an artist, always. Conceptual art, no. Utilitarian, absolutely. You know, the clothespin. Absolutely, it has to be utilitarian. It has to be anti. I buy everything retro, I have for years. You know, my ex-wives, my freaking ex-group, you know, everybody, my daughters, they'll all tell you about I refuse on the diamond complex. It's just like gold. They try to make you understand that this is some finite commodity. Gold, freaking, diamonds are everywhere. De Beers, oh, Rhodesia, Carl Rhodes, read up on him. Oh, Bill Walmart Clinton, Rhodes Scholar, yeah, it's a fallacy, it's a scam. This obey, Warhol wouldn't believe it. He was mocking it then. It's gone amok. It's freaking popism died 3/11/11. So, 8.6 at the Enola Gay hangar. Now my whistleblower, I've been talking to him in New York. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. I mean, he got a little cold feet, nervous, and I understand. But, you know, look, we're not going to fracture this unless we fracture this from within. The NSA, the military industrialized complex, they're still people. And they still can die from cancer. And, you know, when they all have that epiphany moment. You know, you're working for the NSA, you're you know, a button pusher freaking droning people on the ground. You know, thank God we had Bradley Manning. Thank you, Bradley Manning. Thank you, Michael Hastings. Thank you, O'Brien, next to Pat Tillman. Thank you, Aaron Swartz. Thank you. You will never be forgotten, not by people like me. I will fight for you till my last breath. As that moment will click, how immoral and how hate and Fukushima the Great, it will click in your brain that, hey, I can die of leukemia too. My loved one's got leukemia and dying. My loved one's got cancer. My loved one has autism. My loved one has MS. My loved one has Chernobyl heart. My infant child just had a heart attack. That epiphany moment's going to happen inside the NSA. It's happening. I know it because I have people coming to me. It's going to happen inside Cal Berkeley as they refuse to break ranks. It's going to happen in the marine biologist complex. Look, when they go to work for the nuclear cartel, they make you sign disclosure contracts. They'll sue you, they'll freaking threaten you, but they are people. Human beings. Jamie Dimon's got cancer. Steve Chinese Jobs, all his money cut another minute by. This is the great equalizer. It's where the wind blows, it's where the water flows, because I look like a monkey and I act like one too. And I look like a monkey and I have contaminated Fukushima in my blood just like them too. I mean, that moment, that's how we're going to crack this within. we're going to crack this. We need people to break ranks. Lonnie Clark went out and did that. I'm going to start doing more activism on the corners, on the streets. That's where we'll meet. I'll be in New York City September 21st for the climate march. I've been asked to, join with them. Hopefully I'll speak. They want, we'll see how that plays out. The Million Masked Man March, I think they're going to do something again in November. John Anthony Fairhurst, by the way, that was a powerful gig. I was really powerful. And Steve Grant, his amazing work. So much at Livermore with Heather, that was amazing on Thanksgiving Day. At Cal Berkeley, there's not a lot of video at Berkeley because they took my camera and broke my camera, but I got one video out there with them. In San Francisco, out at Point Reyes with John, it was awesome. In Eugene, Oregon, that was great at Harris Hall. I mean, my interview with Jack Dresser that made PBS, I love that. In New York City when we marched to Hamilton's grave, the underground media. I think my favorite though, and this is all this year, 2013, I think my favorite was standing in Times Square with the real Tiananmen Square deal. They don't let anybody in that cage. Protesting for Dr. Wang, and I'd stand there and say, hey, how do you talking on yourself, how do you like drinking the blood of Chinese children? How did you like Body Works, executed Chinese? How do you like running down the NFL field with hair extensions from executed Chinese prisoners? They execute 241 women a day over there for as little as having some marijuana in their hands. Bootleg their body, oh yeah, big time. Chinese freaking heart transplant. It's grotesque, it's usury, it's sickening, but post-ignorance is my concept. I try to time it for the 3/25/11 100th anniversary of the shirtwaist fires. I stood in Washington Square all winter. I was with the early people that the seed was planted on Occupy. We didn't call it Occupy, that was us. We were in Washington Square all winter. Behind, we talked and talked, and they talked about Lower Manhattan. I argued, and this was just a small teeny freaking group. We're the one that flickered the flame. And they're like, something happened on the way to that place. They threw an American flag in my face called nuclearism. Fukushima happened and I went crazy. And they're like, Kevin, you've gone Fukushima crazy. You can see it when I give this speech in front of the Million Masked Man March. And somebody catcalls. You can talk about aliens because they didn't know. Oh, did I awake a sleeping giant? Now, are they per se anonymous? No. They're contemporaries. I mean, there's components of anonymous. I'm not with Anonymous. They asked me, John Anthony first, these are contemporaries who are pissed about all things. My post-ignorance throws a 10 over it, We're contemporary. You know how many people were there that day? I mean, we just took off. I just led that march right down Constitution, down with a police escort. I remember talking to the head of security with a laser beam on my forehead, by the way, and John Anthony and Steve Grant, all of us with laser beams with guns off the top of the roof of the White House on our heads. As I was right there with Thomas's protege, I talked to Sam, and he'd had a family member in Marin County die of leukemia. He got it. I talked to them. These people are people. They can die. That's why Fukushima, we can get through. Hey, look, you're on the wrong side here. Protecting the nuclear cartel. The nuclear cartel's a lie. We don't even use it. Price Anderson, you're forced to insure it. Congress, you're forced to buy it all back. They're deregged. They're criminal. It's a criminal enterprise. Using slaves in Fukushima, a freaking government blockout, arresting people we've been talking about. Am I origami folded up and just pretend? Not me, motherfucker. Look, I'm in the fight of my life. I plan on fucking living. So that's the gig. Enola Gay out in Wendover, 8/6, and they really are building a drone plant right out there. So it'll be probably the last one I'll be able to do my protests out there before they won't let us do it much longer. I've done it out there 30 years. I've made art inside that hangar for 30 years. And right there. I mean, that's out in area 51, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all over. And then I'll be in New York. Now, for sure, well, I think for sure, it's my first now. In San Diego, I'll be there the 14th of August. We're going to set up shop at the USS Reagan hearing at the Schwartz Building in San Diego the 19th. We'll have our Wheel of Misfortune. We'll have our Dogma Burgers, and we'll do our gig. As far as the post-ignorance art movement, retro, because I don't believe we've overbuilt, we've overconsumed. We don't need to build any more houses. We don't need to consume. Has always been this way? No, it's not always been this way. We make up less than 3% of the world's population. We consume 65% of the world's goods. It just gets bigger and bigger. This growth, obey, freaking consume, it cannot be, it's not sustainable. And you guys are waiting for the main event. The main event happened. Oh, the dollar's going to crash. The dollar crashed 10 years ago. I mean, this is a rethinking. This is a 31111 change in possibly is dead, thus post-ignorance. We go forward. You know, my doctor says, you know, Kev, every time, your fight's not over. No, I know my fight's not over. My fight will never be over till I'm dying. I think people that don't fight and don't understand this, you know, Kylie Fitzwater down in Australia, I would like to say what an incredible activist she is out in the street. That's where we'll meet. There's a few of great ones out there, but I don't believe in passive activism. I think, you know, I believe in intelligent, strong freaking activism. I believe in cracking the bully in his fucking face. I've always believed that, just like I did fucking cancer so far. So that's the plan. Enola Gay 8-6. And I won't be folding any fucking paper claims. I don't give a fuck who I offend. 2. USS Reagan hearing one of those young men in the hospital with me, you know, fighting for his life full of leukemia, what they did to their own troops, spraying white phosphorus. You know, they murdered my father, drafted Marine right here, on 8/19 in San Diego. Well, I'll be there all week. We'll set up some activism on the pier in Pacific Beach. I'm going to stay in Pacific Beach, little place there, which I love that place. It's overbuilt too, up to the edge. It's grotesque. They don't protect the sanctuary. Then New York City, the 21st for the climate march, maybe even sooner than that. So my whistleblower is the real deal. I've been working with him and talking with him. You know, he's got kids and whatever. We have to do this thoughtfully. We have to do this intelligently. You know, I don't want anybody to freaking get killed, but the bottom line is this. I have kids, I have grandkids. You know, I stand in the face of it all the time, but I do it intelligently, I do articulately, and I tell, remember this, as an anti-nuclear activist, we have the truth on our side. They have nothing but fucking lies. They're fucking evil. I don't believe in softball activism, and the art movement per se, post-ignorance, yeah, I started painting with tomato soup quite some time ago. It's cheap. I mean, there's a big part of it. It's grotesque. It proves that, I mean, look at that shit. You're going to eat that, put it in your guts? The pain, the blood, the death. Look, people need to understand, it's safer to live in Tokyo than right here. Much safer. Fukushima is North America is a kill zone, Fukushima. Fukushima, 1,240 days pouring in the Pacific Ocean, just dumping in over and over, and you think there's no consequence to that? You really are ignorant and naive. It's death, and there's no turning it off. They're just going to continue to do it. TEPCO's words themselves, we're relying on unyet developed technology to cure this. They can't cure it. They have no answer. And 1,280 something days, if that doesn't prove to you, and it's a lie, we don't use it. 56 reactors down in Japan, no rolling black. I seen an article that says, oh, 86 degrees, old people die. What? What are you talking? You don't think those people, they didn't got rolling blackouts. What are you talking about? 86 degrees outside. Their lights are on. Their air conditioning's running. You lying fuckers. If I ever see that fucking Forbes, I will drop that fucker like a bag of dirt, and I'll do the fucking time. I don't give a fuck. These creepy fuckers want to fucking try to kill me. I mean, this is a fight of my life. You know, given 2 months to live. You know, this YouTube video doesn't do any justice for my battle and my fight. I mean, I was wiped out. I lost everything. I lost all my money. I had to sell off everything I fucking owned to get in there. Every fucking penny. You know, I had my derivative portfolio, my teaching career. I violated that because I went after the General Electric University, the complex, University. I attacked them. My plaster, I don't even dare put the Hawken Trail in my hand. Chemicals in that. I mean, that's why I paint outdoors. I'm afraid of the chemicals. You know, that's another thing with tomato soup. And I use retro materials. I buy retro crows. I mean, my girlfriend who died of leukemia. That's why I quit Wall Street in '99. I really loved her so much. She died of this disease, you know. She used to carry around this thing in her hand. I won it in a gumball machine, and I was a millionaire then. I mean, you should see the house that I lived in, self-made. For 25 cents a machine, it was a little green heart with a little upside-down horseshoe, and I handed it to her. You know, and when we got, you know, engaged or whatever, you know, exchanged things, she says, no, this is what I want, and she kept it. You know, I have it. That's the way it should be. It should be from the heart. We need a revolution of the heart. We need no more passive fucking activism. It's fucking worthless. We need no more shields. We need strong, intense, hardcore out in the street. That's where we'll fucking meet. I'll tell you what proves it. All these so-called activists, including Caldecott, Busby, fucking Gunter Shield, all of them, where the fuck were you at the Megan Rice fucking hearing? Nobody can call themselves a true human fucking rights activist, or for that matter, anti-nuclear activists that weren't there, showing support for her.
She's the greatest fucking human rights activist on earth, on earth, on earth. You know, Dorothy Day being sainted, the protege. So that's the routine. Let's stay with this. The Post-Ignorance Project will go forward. Thank you, Eric Jordan. His beautiful, incredible artwork. Thank you so much. Lonnie Clark, thank you for everything you've fucking done. You know, Thomas Ackerman, his intensity and his support, Palco, his support, and everybody else, all, you know, John Kirk up there, Mark in the Bay Area, these people that, you know, have financially gave me small amounts of money that we've done this, you know, and we've, Jeff Palco trying to get his no regrets life in order as he's got a terminal illness. He gets what I get, you know, laying in that freaking bed, fighting for my life. You know, did I make promises to so-called God? No, I didn't. I didn't do that. You know, and a lot of people do that because I didn't want to break my promises to whatever, you know. I'll go back to Russell Means. I think about him all the time, and I think about the natives. I was very tied as a young boy to the Navajos because of my mother was a teacher at the Intermountain Indian School, and so complex, and I really think about them, what they were then, and what they're like us too. Their tribe is obese and lost, you know, their group, just like we are. They were so beautiful when I was young. Oh my God. I learned my spirituality from them and these handcart pushing romantics here growing up on this western landscape, on this fucking ranch out here on the plain. You know, I get it. I don't make promises that I can't keep. You know, I do my best because I'm human and I'm flawed. I'm just like the monkeys, you know. I'm just trying to do my part, and people that don't fight for their children don't understand. I consider it to be child abuse. You know, we have fights. My daughter's arguments, crap, my grandchildren, my little grandkids out here, no mama, no mama, I don't drink milk, I'm like grandpa. No mama, I don't even like it. I don't eat fish, I'm like grandpa. They go crazy over carrot juice. They go crazy over fruits and vegetables. Keep your immune system bolstered, keep your mind free, keep it open, keep your spirit strong, and keep your priorities in order. Number one priority, your health. Your health, mentally, spiritually, all of that. Your health. A strong mind, soul, and body. The art is such a big piece of it. You know, retro. I'm not going to freaking participate with the scumbags that are selling us blood from Bangladesh freaking factories and Apple, Foxconn. I'm not going to do it. I'll buy retro. I'll do everything I can retro. Everything that I can. You know, stay in tune and out in the street. That's where we'll meet.